I know up in heaven you're not supposed to cry, but I'm almost sure there were tears in your eyes as Jesus took your hand and you stood before the Lord. You said, my child, look around you, for great is your reward. Thank you for giving to the Lord, yes. But I am a life that was changed. Oh, thank you for giving to the Lord. Oh, I am so glad you gave. I am so glad you gave, Mama. I am so glad you gave. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Encouraging Worship. Once again, it's Pastor Art. I'm glad to be in your life. Thank you for this tremendous opportunity to sow into you and to allow the Holy Spirit to encourage you through me. I'm so thankful for this. And today I want to encourage you with some thoughts about my mama. She took an eternal heavenly flight on Tuesday, the 19th of December, at about 5:24 a.m. She took an eternal heavenly flight to be forever with Jesus. And I'm so stinking proud of her. She ran her race with real excellence. And I just want to tell you a little bit about why I'm proud of her. And I think it'll bless you. You know, my mom was a woman of faith. She was a woman of prayer. She was a woman who sought the face of God. And every day in my home, my mom and dad would open up the day with us right after we would have breakfast. We would have Bible reading and prayer and worship together as a family. And it was my mom and dad's greatest desire that they would be what Jesus wanted them to be. And they would always try their best to lead us to Jesus every day. They were trying to do everything that they knew how. And I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful. My mom was a real giver and she was a real servant. We had people at our house all the time. First of all, I was born in Chicago. My mom had 11 children before I was born. Yeah, 11 children before I was born. She adopted a foster boy. We had lots of foster kids besides our own family, but we adopted one named Rick, who has been my brother my whole life. He is my brother. And then we moved from Chicago to Idaho, and my dad's brother and his wife were killed in a car accident. They had 9 children. One of them was killed with them. And so my mom and dad took in the other 8, and they became my brothers and sisters, and they are truly my brothers and sisters, and I am forever grateful that God put them in my life, in our lives. They have made my life so much richer, so much deeper. So my mom reared 20 children, plus many foster children, and I want you to know you don't do that. You don't rear and raise 20 teenagers without being broken, without being crushed, without going to God many times. One of the greatest things my family got to see is my mom often on her knees crying out for us, her children. And in my home, you know, my mom was constantly busy working. She made all of our bread. She made our meals. Of course, everybody chipped in, but I never had bought bread hardly ever. Every Sunday was company in my home. My mom and dad were always inviting, in spite of having so many and so much responsibility already. Somehow they found it in their hearts to have other people. And of course, my mom took the brunt of that as she was preparing food and cinnamon rolls. A lot of people called her Cinnamom because her cinnamon rolls were absolutely amazing. She touched every person she ever met. And I know I've had a lot of cousins and people who know her who said words like, if there ever was a saint, your mama is it. That's who she is. She's just one who lives the life of Jesus to its fullest, the best she knows how. And, you know, even when she was laying on her bed and couldn't get out of bed in the recent weeks and months, people would find her asleep with her notebook in her hand that had a list of all of the children, all the grandchildren, and all the great-grandchildren. I mean, you know, we're talking, she has a total of 20 children. Some of them passed away. But like 60-some grandchildren, and I don't even know how many great-grandchildren right now. But she would be praying for them each, one by one, name by name. Even in their last moments, using her life for the purpose of God. She would rarely go anywhere without sharing Jesus with somebody or giving somebody a tract about the good news of Jesus. She led good news clubs. You know, if it wasn't enough to have the responsibility of so many children, she would, every week, especially during the summer, she would lead good news clubs for children where they would come in and she would tell stories and share the good news about Jesus. And she was constantly touching people and giving her life away as a servant, as a selfless person. She learned the art of forgiveness. She learned to be a true giver and a true servant. And the older she got, the sweeter she became. The only words that came out of her in the very last week of her life was, I love you. That's what came out of her, I love you. And I want to sing a song just in honor of my mom. And maybe there's somebody in your life who's blessed you, your mom or your dad or somebody who's blessed you. And I pray that you would not take it for granted, but that you would let them know how much of a blessing they have been to your life. And this song is not my song. It's actually a song by Ray Boltz, but I just felt like it was so fitting for her today. And it's called Thank You for Giving to the Lord. It's actually called Thank You, but it's Thank You for Giving to the Lord. And I want to sing this in honor of my mom. I want to say just before I do that, a few minutes after my mom had taken her last breath, I was actually sleeping, and they woke me and they said, Mama, they think just passed. And so I got up and I was getting my clothes on and my shoes on. And when I was putting one of my socks on, I just looked up at the wall in contemplation of what just happened. And it was just like everything went blank for a second, and a vision came to me. It just came to my mind, came to my heart, and I saw my mama, and she came up to, the only way I know how to explain it is she came up to the edge of eternity. And she was between 15 and 20 years old, and it was like she was on a sea of crystal, a sea of glass or something like that, but it's like she came as close as she could. She came right up to the edge of eternity to talk to me. And she said, I made it. And she was skipping and dancing as if she was a little child. She came up and she said, Arthur, I made it. I'm so excited. And she said, but I do miss you. And then that was the end. And it blessed my heart so much. I felt like there was one last word for my mom. She was so excited. She was actually there in the presence of God. And this song just reminds me of her. It's a precious song about actually stepping into heaven. And though I didn't get this vision and I did not have this dream, this song reminds me of Mama. It goes like this. I dreamed I went to heaven, that you were there with me. We walked upon the streets of gold, beside the crystal sea. We heard the angels singing, and someone called your name. You turned and saw a young man. He was smiling as he came. And he said, friend, you may not know me. But then he said, but wait. You used to teach my Sunday school when I was only 8. And every week you would say a prayer before the class would start. One day when you said that prayer, I asked Jesus in my heart. Thank you for giving to the Lord, 'cause I am a life that was changed. Oh yeah, thank you for giving to the Lord. I am so glad you gave. Thank you, Mama. This is her. Then another man stood before you, said, remember the time a missionary came to your church. His pictures made you cry. You didn't have much money, but you gave it anyway. Jesus took that gift you gave, and that's why I'm here today. Thank you for giving to the Lord. I am a life that was changed. Thank you for giving to the Lord. I am so glad you gave. One by one they came, far as the eye could see. Each one somehow touched by your generosity. Little things that you had done, sacrifices made, unnoticed on the earth, but in heaven now proclaim. I know up in heaven you're not supposed to cry, but I'm almost sure there were tears in your eyes as Jesus took your hand and you stood before the Lord. You said, my child, look around you, for great is your reward. you gave. I am so glad you gave, Mama. I am so glad you gave. I'm so rich because of you. Bless you, Mama. Maybe there's somebody in your life who you need to appreciate. Somebody who's been a giver. That they were doing little things here and there, maybe not noticed by everybody, but acts of giving their life away, like my mama constantly giving her life away. I think it would be good to tell them, even during this Christmas season, during these days, some hearts are hurting. You're gonna be without your mama or your daddy or your sister, your brother. Your heart's hurting. Can you rejoice with the good things? Can you be blessed that you know where they're at, that they're with Jesus? I wanted to give this tribute to my mama. She deserves it. She's a blessing. I love you all. I am so thankful and grateful to be in your life. It's a privilege. It's kind of an interesting, weird thing that over the internet, from my office here, I get a chance to say I love you and to maybe build you up and encourage you in your life to be filled with all the love that God is and has for you. I hope that you will find somebody that maybe this will encourage or inspire. Maybe you can send it to your mama and tell your mama, Mama, this is you. And bless her life with this song. Anyway, I'm so thankful. Thanks for liking and subscribing, sharing, finding people to share it with. I want to touch as many people as I can with encouraging worship. Amen. And if you're not subscribed to my daily words, I send them out all the time. I will leave a link so you can sign up and be a part of my daily encouraging words I send out every day, all over. Love to be sharing my thoughts and my heart, my relationship with God with you. God bless you. I love you all. Merry Christmas. I hope you have a beautiful Christmas with your family, with your loved ones. God bless you.